Motorsport Radio.
Welcome back to Motorsport Radio here with the racing world heartthrob that is Sebastian Melrose. He's happy with that.
That was some entrance, man. I like that one.
How are you doing, Seb? You all right?
I'm fine, mate. Yeah, just trying to find my way around London at the moment. It's a bit difficult coming from Bathgate. I'm not used to all the undergrounds and all that. But listen, I'm getting there. I'm learning fast.
Yeah. Well, that's great to hear. You've had quite a busy year the past year. You've certainly done some things that I've never seen racing drivers do before. How's all that life been treating you? How's the stardom been treating you?
It's, you know what, man, it's really good. I'm counting my blessings. You know what, I'm probably counting my blessings more than ever now, because I've learned to appreciate the little things like home, family, friends, everything like that, because now life's obviously a bit different. You can't really have the privacy like you had before. Obviously, I'm based in London now, so I don't get to see my family so much. It's a lot of things have changed, mate. Some things for the better, some things for the worse, but I think that's just life, and taking it in my stride, man. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah. Well, it sounds like you've certainly had a really enjoyable past few years. So let's go into what you have been up to the past year. You've been on a Netflix show that is called Too Hot to Handle. How on earth did that come around?
So actually, initially, it was a DM on Instagram, and it was obviously initially for a show that was called Wild Love, which is like the fake show that is Too Hot to Handle. And it was funny because at first I'd always had opportunities for like Love Island, all that kind of thing. And obviously this opportunity came around, and I'd actually, like, mate, literally a few weeks before the DM from Wild Love came in, I got messaged to be casted for either the Circle, it was Celebs Go Dating. But I wasn't dating as a celebrity. I was dating like just as like your average punter. Yeah. I was going to date one of the celebrities, and I turned it down because I was like, you know what, I don't want to do that, because I don't want to come across like sometimes how some of the people who aren't celebs come across, you know. And I didn't fancy that, so I was like, look, not this time, but please, if you've got any other stuff, like, please put them forward, and like, I'd love to like take a look at it and all that. Anyway, Wild Love came along, and I kind of like hummed and hawed for a little, but it was like, you know what, fuck it. I was like, let's just take the chance, right? And took the chance. Went through some interviews. It was a good laugh, and look at that wee video there. Absolutely, what a poser. But it's so funny, I'm just looking at them. But so where was I with that? So a few interviews, and then later on got flown to Turks and Caicos, right, which is where we filmed. We had to quarantine for a few weeks there, and me and my chaperone got on like two peas in a pod, man. It was like such a laugh, the two of us, and literally, when I kid you not, they put you up in mansions, mate. Like, it was like incredible, right at the seafront. We had kayaks, we were like messing around, the pair of us. 3 weeks in quarantine, I get like the call. So when you get flown out, you're still not guaranteed to be on the show.
Right.
So you're still not guaranteed. But I got the call to do like basically the pre-filming like interview thing, where it's like, hi, I'm Seb, I'm blah blah blah, like all the cringy stuff, like, you know, all the most horrible cringy stuff that you can think of, you've got to say. So anyway, thankfully they absolutely loved me from that, and got on the show like a couple of days later. You still don't know it's Too Hot to Handle. So you're filming for about 2 days, and everything's Wild Love, and then basically, I'll tell you, like, from start to finish of, like, until we found out it was Too Hot to Handle. We were coming up to our first challenge, right? Mario Lopez had spoke to us. He was like, right, you're coming up to your first challenge. Next thing, you've got health and safety, right? They all come in. They give you a debrief of like harnesses. So we had to put on harnesses. I don't know if you watched it. You did watch the show, didn't you? Yeah. We all turned up at the airport, and we're all like in boiler suits, harnesses. We thought we were going like paragliding or like sky. What's it called?
Skydiving.
Skydiving. That's it.
Yeah.
My mind there. Skydiving. So anyway, mate, we're having like debriefs of how to set up our harnesses. I'm like, fucking, I'm getting a bit nervous here. But I loved, obviously from like a racing driver background, I loved the sound of the adrenaline-filled dates, which is what we were sold. So we were like, yeah, it's going to be adrenaline-filled dates, challenges, everything. I'm like, right, perfect, sign me up. We turn up to the airport, and all of a sudden, like, Lana pops up from this car next to the private jet, and it's kind of like a bittersweet moment, because a part of me was like, holy shit, I'm on Too Hot to Handle, which is like a massive show. It's like the biggest Netflix reality show that's out. So I'm like, wow, this is kind of life-changing now. But a part of me was like, I'm kind of gutted, because I would have loved to do the challenges.
Yeah.
So anyway, it was kind of like one of these things, and like 3 weeks down the line, I've got a girlfriend, mate, and I'm in the final of the show. So it was a great experience, man.
Yeah. Well, congrats on the show as well. It was really, really cool to watch it. But what was it like in there? Is it quite like? Is it as it seems, or is it quite a lot of dramatising and stuff like that?
I mean, for me personally, what you saw was what you got. So it was like there was barely any. There's a word that flies around the like reality industry called like a lot of things are like produced, and like somebody is like producible, if you like. For me, it was like, mate, they wouldn't have to tell me what to do. They wouldn't have to tell me what to say. It was literally like, right, Seb, you're going on a date with Kayla now. Just fucking do what you got to do. So, which was like a great experience for me, because I was just allowed to be myself. And I kind of put that, before going on the show, I remember telling myself, I was like, look, I'm just going to be myself. People don't like it. So be it, because I had no expectation of myself whatsoever before going on. I didn't think I'd do as well as I'd done. I didn't think I'd get the girl that I'd get. Like, for me, it was just a matter of like, just go on, be yourself. If they don't like you, they don't like you. If they love you, great. So that's what it was like for me. So, like, mate, I have no complaints. Some people, I think, had maybe a bit of a tough time on it, but the majority, like, all the boys get along with each other. It was a great experience, mate, for everyone, I think. Maybe some more than others, but it's not for me to say. It's not my place to say. All I can say is that I had the time of my life, and I think it shows on screen, mate. When somebody's enjoying themselves, I think their journey on reality TV is different. You know, they love it. They love the journey.
I did feel the energy from you through the show. It was always like, this guy is chill. This guy is just a really like nice guy, full of energy, really good. So do you think that being on Too Hot to Handle has had a positive or kind of like a bit of a negative image on your like public image kind of thing? Do you think it has improved it?
I think definitely it has improved it. Not so much night and day, because I'd like to think I've always been liked. I think the people who are close to me, it's funny because when I speak to friends and family and people that know me about the show, they're like, mate, it was just like watching you in the gym, or it was just like watching you at a house or at a party. Like like I said, what you watch on TV is completely me, and I've had nothing but love from it. I've had nothing but support, love. Like, overall, it's been a great experience, man, and all I've experienced is love, to be honest. So certainly from my own personal image, it's done wonders. But I mean, I've got to be careful now what I say, what I do. You know, certain things that I say and do online. Like, mate, I am, like I said, like I have got no filter. So like all the way through my life, man, I've just said it how it is. Now I've got to have a little bit of a filter, but I don't want to filter myself too much, because where's the fun in that? If I filter myself too much, that's no longer me. So I'm still giving people what they want to see. I'm telling people what they want to hear. Like, it's all a bit fun and games right now, man. But it's hard work. It's different kind of work now.
Yeah, I can imagine. And that I was going to kind of ask that question again, but in regards to sponsorship. So this is one that I was quite interested to ask you, because some sponsors that you might have had before, have they now seen you go on the show and go, oh, right, actually, maybe we don't want to associate ourselves with that? Or have you actually found more sponsors because of it? So
that's actually a really good question. So actually, it's the first part of that you mentioned. So like now, sponsorship deals are way more like open for me, because of how I came across in the show and I'm loved. Sponsors and brands want to get involved now. They know that it's not going to have a negative effect on their image by being involved with me, which I'm so happy about, and like I'm glad it went like that, because the risk of going on a show like that is people might hate you and brand, or you do something that's completely controversial and brands and sponsors no longer want to associate themselves with you. For me, it's had the opposite effect, where it's had a really positive impact, and more than ever, brands, countries, current sponsors are wanting to get involved more than ever now. So like, mate, I'm absolutely blessed, and I'm completely taken back by everything. It's so humbling for me. Like, I love it. I absolutely love it. And the people that still want to support, mate, I'm accepting them with open arms, like more than ever now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. Well, that's actually really, really nice to hear, because I did kind of think maybe that obviously going on a show like Too Hot to Handle or Love Island maybe would, you know, as you say, if you do something that is a bit controversial, it could wipe you out. But it's really good that obviously it's gone so well for you, and it's really, really, really happy to see that for you. So what's been the reaction from the racing paddock? So we've kind of talked a bit about Too Hot to Handle now. Let's kind of drift into what you're kind of wanting to go back into now, which is racing. So what has been the reaction like from the paddock for you?
Well, a lot of the seats now, a lot of them have been subsidised because my social media numbers have like absolutely exploded. My engagement is there. Me as like a marketing tool now is more powerful than I've ever experienced. It's more, I'm a more powerful marketing tool, right? So teams, brands, sponsors, like they're all wanting now, they're all interested in me because one, I can still pedal a car, mate. Like I'm still quick. You know, I don't think by no means I've not lost any of that talent. I feel like I don't think I'm the most talented on the grid, but what I can do is I can work hard and I can come across well to sponsors. But now, teams are now seeing that actually I'm potentially quick enough to be on podiums, right? Potentially quick enough to win races. But now what I can bring them is another avenue of marketing. So obviously race teams, mate, they're interested. They obviously want to win. But they're also interested in having a driver that they can market and that sponsors want to be involved with. So now what I'm experiencing is a lot of the teams are now interested in me, not only because they want me to drive for them, but also because of the help I can give them to appeal to sponsors. Like I've got a sponsor right now that, well, not a potential sponsor right now, shall we say, that they're not over the line at all, but his daughter loves the show.
Oh, yeah.
So not only like he's looking at it as like a point where actually this will help his company. He gets involved with me, like obviously I help his company, he helps me. It's the way it goes. He's like, well, yeah, Seb now appeals to, he's got like millions of engagement, but also his daughter loves me.
Yeah, you know, exactly.
So he's kind of got like an incentive where, like, you know, if he's a daddy's girl, it's like, oh, you know, can I please sponsor Seb? So like stuff like that kind of helps me. But like I said, listen, this is not easy work. Like nothing's still handed to me on a plate. And this is maybe where I went slightly wrong. I thought everything would be handed to me on a plate. It's not like that, mate. I've got to work like harder than ever now.
Yeah.
I've got a lot of pressure now to maintain my engagement, maintain the following. But yeah, I mean, like I said, it's more available than it's ever been, but it's still a lot of work to make sure I get there, you know. But yeah, I mean, in terms of racing, what I'm looking at now is I'm having a lot of talks with the touring car grids now, with the touring car teams. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm hoping I can get my bum into a seat this year with touring cars. For the first time ever, mate. Usually what it is, you've got the team, but you've not got the money. Yeah. That's usually how it goes. Yeah. For the first time ever, mate, and I don't know how long this is going to last, I pray to God that it lasts. For the first time ever, it looks like I've got the money, but no seat. Yeah. Oh, the seats are kind of drying up. So I'm like, God damn, I'm like, this is the complete opposite effect of what I've experienced. Yeah. So it's kind of funny, you've got to laugh, but I've got some options there. I just need to hurry up and get a contract signed. Yeah. Dario's helping me, Marino's helping me a lot. Maybe like over in the States, trying to find deals in the UK and the States for like GTs. Aiden's dad is helping me a little bit with trying to find a seat in touring cars. So I've got the Moffats to thank so hard. Like the Moffats are a second family to me. They always have been ever since me and Aiden have like become like brothers. Like that, his family are like mine and vice versa. You know what I mean? So yeah, that family is a blessing to me with how much they're helping me. And like I said, my godfather, my Uncle Marino, like they're helping me so much as well. The help's there, so I can't let them down, mate.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, that's really lovely to see. And I can also see you've got a really good business mind as well. I mean, you went to university and did business and did really well at uni, as well with that. So with obviously you say your godfather, with Dario Franchitti, is that right? 3-time IndyCar, Indy 500 winner. What if you say maybe you can't get a seat in BTCC, God forbid, would you consider maybe going over to the States and maybe looking into kind of GTs over there or IMSA or something like that? Is that
100%, mate? If it's not BTCC, it's certainly my next. It's not even second choice, to be honest. Like, everything's up there with what I'd love to do. But yeah, certainly, if it's not BTCC, I would definitely make the move over to the States and put myself on the IMSA ladder. Yeah, I mean, there has been some talks, but like I said, it's my godfather that's really kind of pushing me towards that. And to be honest, Kayla as well, I think would love that more than anyone. If I'm racing over in the States, it puts me a bit closer to her, which I think she'd love. But man, I feel blessed with like the opportunities I'm getting. I just need to make sure it pays off.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, and are you definitely focused down the GT route, because your history is very much 2014 to 2018. You were very much Formula Ford 1600. Obviously, you won that Brands Hatch event in 2017. Are you very much kind of set on touring cars and GTs now? Would you maybe go up to Formula 3 or maybe even IndyCar?
Well, you know what, right? I'll be honest. I've had another interview before this, right? And I'm going to repeat what I said to them. I am no longer. I need to watch what I'm saying here, because I don't want to come across as I'm no longer professional, because I very much. I think I'm more professional now than I ever have been. I'm more switched on now than I ever have been. I'm fit. I'm savvy when it comes to sponsors, marketing, everything like that. Being a professional racing driver now is no longer like number one priority, right? And it's kind of funny that you probably be like, why is he saying that and wants to continue racing? By what I mean by professional is, right, signing a contract with a works manufacturer, you'll get a certain salary. You might gain some endorsements from certain brands, you know, like Gillette or something, Beats, whatever it is. What I've realised is that a lot of the works drivers don't have the following that I've got, right? But also, they're very talented. They're racing drivers. They're purebred racing drivers. So they fit very well in that professional racing driver category, and they can afford to sign a contract with a manufacturer.
Yeah.
But I've now seen a different avenue, right? So I've now got more followers than a lot of racing drivers, than the majority of racing drivers out there. More than some IndyCar drivers, more than some NASCAR drivers. I think F1 is the only championship that I think a lot of the drivers, I think the majority, have more followers than me, right? But I am now, as a marketing tool, up there with the top racing drivers, up there with IndyCar, NASCAR, F1. And I feel like, as a way to monetize it, I'm better off not signing a professional contract with a manufacturer. Because when you sign a professional contract with a manufacturer, you're like, you can't go outside that bubble. You have to obviously drive certain cars, you're earning a certain amount of money with them, and your life is completely dialed in to winning a championship with them, right? I can't afford to have that in my life right now. I've got other TV shows that I'm working on, or I'm trying to work on right now. I've got brands that I don't want to be limited to like be able to market certain brands. I don't want to be limited to what I can race and what type of cars I can race. And I feel like now I'm finally at a stage in my life where I can race cars and do just as well as the top drivers in terms of like monetizing it.
Yeah.
You know, so like, although I might have to continue paying for a seat, what I'm finding now is that my seat is now subsidised because of what I can bring to the teams and the sponsors. And, you know, a team will ask for a certain amount of money, but from what I can bring in might be more than what the team's asking for. So that can be how I can earn from racing.
Yeah.
So finally, I'm finding a way that I can earn from being a racing driver without having to sign a manufacturer contract, you know?
Yeah.
Which is like, I'm grateful that I'm finally in that position where I can look at that option.
Yeah, so you're kind of at that point where you can be a professional race driver, but now you've got all these opportunities coming towards you all at once. It's obviously really difficult to kind of go, oh yes, I'm going to do this full time or this or this. You know, you kind of want that freedom that I think you obviously now have. With that, I did also notice you have 2 agents in terms of your PR agents. You've got one in the UK and one in the USA. Does that mean you're going to be doing some stuff in America as well, or can you not talk about anything yet? Or
No, I can. So in terms of racing, mate, I don't know what I'm going to be doing in America in terms of racing. I hope I can do something. In terms of my brand out in the States, mate, it's huge. So a lot of my engagement comes from the US. Yeah. Which is why I'm like, well, I can monetize the States and the UK. Yeah. Because the good thing is with Too Hot to Handle is that it's a global platform, right? It's Netflix. So you're touching. I went to Thailand, mate. I'm getting screamed at in the street for people wanting to stop, take pictures. Wow. I went to Peru, mate. I got mobbed in a shopping centre with fans wanting pictures. Wow. I went to Costa Rica, El Salvador, LA. Literally, I've gone around the globe on each side of the globe, and people want to take pictures of me, people want to notice me. So, like, in terms of, like, I think the world's my oyster, I think, but I still need a lot of work. There's so much work to be put in. Like, I thought it would be a lot easier than what it is. It's not easy, man. It's not all on social media. It looks like sunshine and rainbows. I can guarantee, I can absolutely promise you. Yeah. And I'm certainly speaking for myself, but I know from like other friends who are like in the same industry in reality, I'm going to speak for them too, because I know that some of them are finding it tough as well. It's not sunshine and rainbows, mate, on the outside world. It's like, it's a lot of grind, constant, try to sell yourself to brands, mate, try to convince them that you're the right person for the job, you know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, I do that, but on a much smaller scale for obviously my
Everyone's
size.
A content creator nowadays. You've got to be.
Yeah, very true.
Are you going down that route, like TikTok and stuff?
Well, I kind of have. I don't know if I can mention this, but I do have a podcast as well, which I do, and I know that is on my own. That is a lot of work, as Lester will tell you as well. Obviously, Motorsport Radio, he kind of runs on his own as well. It is tough. So I can only imagine, obviously, on your scale now, obviously what you're having to do in terms of social media. So you say a brand, obviously it's huge in America. Is this Rip Primo? Am I saying that right? Is that?
No, so I'm talking about my personal brand.
Oh, your personal brand. Oh, got you.
Yeah, my personal, like the Seb Melrose brand. But Rip Primo, we're praying. Our product is in America right now. We're waiting on some news coming back that if the contract comes back all agreed, then it's going to be huge for us in America. Yeah. America is like the UK on steroids, mate. If a brand doing well in the UK, you know, it's maybe here. If a brand's doing well in the US, mate, it's like you're doing this much. You know what I mean? It's the scale. Everything's just on a much larger scale over in the US. But I mean, Red Promo, that's going good. We're just trying to still push for sales. It's still a work in progress, mate. So I'm still every day, mate, on the phone to my business partners. We're on the grind with that. My business partner's son is actually racing Ginetta Juniors this year.
Very nice.
His name's Luca Hopkinson, mate. He's actually one to watch. Yeah. To be honest, he's racing Ginetta Juniors. So he was very much like me, mate. Had no experience in racing whatsoever. Jumped into Ginetta Junior last year, mate, and got a few top tens. Yeah. And mate, that is a tough championship. And this kid is, I think he's just turned 16. Mate, he's smashing it, man. He's putting in the work. But like, I'm going to start helping him with his social media, because like I said, it's being a good driver is one thing, but if you can't market yourself, or if you can't show sponsors like their return on investment, then talent doesn't matter anymore. I mean, talent gets you so far. Talent, if you've got a lot of talent, you've got to pay money until a certain point where Williams will come in and, you know, make you join their driver junior program, their Ferrari, and then at that point, you're not paying so much. But up until that point, mate, like, you are pumping millions into the sport. You know what I mean? Like, you've probably spoken to many drivers that it's like that. But for some, and for the majority of drivers, like, mate, money is the object. You know what I mean? Money's the hurdle, and like, it's so sad when you see. Mate, I've raced against so many great drivers that have been far better than me, but all they are good drivers. They've not got marketability, they've not got personality, and it's a shame because all they focus on is driving the car and being the best drivers on that track.
Yeah.
Which is great, but then mate, they win the championship, then what? You know what I mean? They win the Formula 4 championship, they win the F4 championship, then they're having to pay $500,000 for the next season, $1 million for the season after. And it's like, at what point do you call it a day? Because it's, you know, you're winning everything, but you can't afford to do the next step. Then where do you go?
Yeah.
So that's why I realised very early on, okay, you know, my family, they can only pay for so much before it's no longer affordable. And I was just about getting to that stage where it was no longer affordable.
Yeah.
You know, like my next step was GT3s or prototypes or something like that. That's a lot of money. So I realised, okay, I'm now at the point in my career where the next step is too expensive. No matter if I win a championship in GT4, who gives a fuck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I'm being brutally honest, mate.
Yeah.
You win the GT4 championship, you win the F3 championship. Who cares?
Yeah.
You've still got to pay for the next step.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, it's bad, and I'm in the sport. I couldn't tell you who won the championship last year, mate, in GTs, in GT4 or F3. I couldn't tell you.
Yeah.
And like these parents and their kids are pushing so hard for their kids to do so well, and they're pumping so much money in for these kids to become champions, and quite rightly so, right? Because they've got a dream. Why give up on the dream if you're good enough? But then they've realised that they've forgot to work on their image, or they've forgot to work on their social media, or whatever it is, and they can't prove to sponsors that their value for money is coming back. That's why I've now taken a step to concentrate on not only my driving ability, but to concentrate on my social media. And now, for the first time ever, I can turn around to a sponsor and say, these are the figures, this is your return on investment.
I think that's why
It's wise.
Yeah.
And I'm starting to, and I'm blessed at the fact now that, like, now I'm starting to help some kids, mate. I'm starting to help some kids out there who are good enough to make it, but they might not have, you know, the money to get to F1. At the end of the day, mate, if you don't have the money to get to F1, what's going on? You know what I mean? Like, where are you going to go?
Yeah.
Because the dream for a lot of these kids is F1. You know what I mean? So I'm helping a lot of kids now with their social media, because I know for a fact they can nail their social media. They'll be able to get sponsors easier. I'm not saying they'll be able to get sponsors easy, because it's never easy, but easier.
It opens doors, doesn't it? I suppose.
Exactly.
I think as well, just listening to what you've been saying as well, Seb, that a lot of people, like you've already said it, it's difficult, and nobody, unless they're going through it, knows how difficult it is to keep climbing that ladder and keep building your brand, your personal image, as you are successfully doing. But also as well, I mean, you've got a degree in business as well, haven't you? So, you know, a lot of people, they might look at social media and think that all you need to do is look attractive and take certain pictures in a certain way, you know, and look really cool and like everyone's having fun. But it does also help to have an education, and to, you know, if you can do a degree in business and be good at it, you know, is that a big reason as to why you do seem to have your head screwed on, really, as well?
Yeah, I completely agree with what you're saying there. I feel like I don't think having a degree is so important. I don't think you need a degree.
But it helps.
I think certainly try it. Yeah, it helps. It helps when you're... It helps when you're talking shit. It helps. You know what I mean? Like, I've got a degree. I mean, all that proved was that I could read a textbook, right? And I could remember certain things that the teacher was saying.
But it comes across, to be honest, Seb, in things that you say versus, I mean, I talk to content creators every day, YouTubers every day, and I'm sure you do as well, and people ploughing along, plugging away. Alex knows exactly what I'm talking about, and they're doing their narrow thing, and just for, you know, they're doing it in all the right ways, but it's just not working out for them. But the way I hear you, the way I hear you talk about certain things is that it's from a business point of view. So you're selling you as a brand rather than you're selling what you're doing, really. Because
always,
you know, what you were doing, racing. Well, that's, you know, how many other champions? I mean, Jamie Chadwick, for example, another GT4 champion. She's still trying to, you know, she's still struggling, you know, this year in the Indy Next as well. Maybe you'll join her in that championship as well. Who knows?
Of course, and I've got a lot of time for Jamie. Me and Jamie keep in touch from time to time, but Jamie as a driver is so marketable. I respect what she does, and I respect how tough it's probably been for her. With being female, I read an article about something about F1 didn't want to accept Jamie because she's female or something. I don't know if I read that wrong, but I remember reading something out there about that. So, I mean, Jamie's up against it.
Really?
You know, which is a shame because she's very smart. Jamie's very smart. She's a very good driver. But you can tell she's gone down a business route of it, right? Yeah. She's saw a loophole in the US, which I think is a completely better route. And she seems to be smashing that right now. I think she's got a lot further than a lot of her competitors, which I respect her for, and I think she's doing a great job. But it's going back to what you're saying about seeing everything as a business. It's true. Even when you're content creating, you've got to create content that is going to engage, I'm going to say fans, but engage the public, right? Engage people that are watching your social media. Now, if you look at that as you've got a business and you've got to try and make your product, basically you've got to put your product in a certain light that people are going to want to buy it, right? So you need to start appealing to consumers. You need to start looking at like social media as everyone watching you as a consumer, right? So people are, you're doing certain things, you're marketing yourself and you're doing certain things on your social media that you know will get people interested, right? That's no difference to a business. Yeah. So without you knowing, you're running a business right now. It's yourself. Yeah. So you've got to market yourself in a certain light to allow people to want to buy into it.
I mean, so someone said to me...
I think that's the key to life.
Yeah. So I was just going to say, someone said to me the other day, treat racing as a hobby and you'll pay millions, but treat it as a business and it'll pay you. And I just thought that was a very good quote to get there, because it is very difficult. I mean, you know, God, I'm struggling to get into C1s, Citroen C1s, and even that's proving tricky. But I
know, mate. But the thing is, as well, is well, I was just going to touch on something there, like what you said. It's escaped me. So just carry on. It'll come back.
Oh, sorry. Sorry. But yeah, I was just saying like that. It is a business, and I think people now, especially young kids, are coming into it. You know, they just want to race, but it's at the time where social media is at an all-time high. You know, now as tough as it seems, it is now probably the easiest time ever to get into Formula One because of social media. Because if you market yourself right in anything, whether you want to do British GT, Le Mans, obviously Formula One or anything, WEC, NASCAR, IndyCar, anything, you have to market yourself correctly, as you've said. And I think it's such a difficult thing to be able to do perfectly, if you say it. And yeah, it is a very difficult thing. But yeah, I might need to hire you as my PR manager. That'll be.
Well, listen, look, I'm always open to help you. I love helping people because I know how hard it is. And listen, like, help's free. You know what I mean? Help is free. And one day I might need help with something, and if I know, if I can clear my conscience that I've helped enough people, then when it comes to me needing help, I know that the help will be there, which is how I live my life. But it's funny what you say, right? Because if a race car driver, right, if you win a championship and you've got 5,000 followers, right, and your engagement's maybe 10% of that, which is 500. I hope my maths is right.
Yeah.
But then when you win that championship, right, your team's happy. But you win that championship, mate, the chances are when you post the fact, I've just won a championship, thanks to my sponsors, thanks to @so-and-so, at Adidas, at Gillette, whoever it is, only 500 people know that you've won the championship. At one point, when I first came off the show, my engagement but my reach was at 54 million people. So when I put out a post, right, when I put out a social media post, 54 million people would see it. So, for example, if I was to win a championship and tag the sponsors and tag the race team and say, I've just won the championship, I'm so excited. 54 million people see that. If let's roles reversed. If I smash the car up, write the car off, right, and there's a picture of the race car in the barrier, smash the bits, and you can just about make out the sponsors, right? 54 million people see the fact I've crashed. Mm-hmm. What's the difference in marketing?
Yeah.
You know?
I mean,
the sponsors still getting the same engagement. Mm-hmm. There's still 54 million people seeing that name on the car, whether it's a championship or whether it's crashed.
Yeah.
You know
I mean, there's no such thing as bad marketing. There's no such thing as bad marketing. If you can reach, then it reaches.
I mean, obviously, I know which one I'd rather market. But if you crash the car, which I know how to crash a car, trust me, and listen, if you crash it, just make sure it's a beauty and it goes viral.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
exactly.
Exactly.
Just going back to obviously your brand, you said it's based quite near me, actually, obviously in Halifax. What actually is Reprimo? What actually is your brand?
So Reprimo is a completely natural wellness product, right? It's capsules. So we do capsules to help you boost your energy, help you focus, help you sleep, help repair muscles. We've got a muscle rub that's out of this world, but all the ingredients inside it are completely natural. And we're going down the sustainability route. So like eventually we're going to be, all our packaging is going to be completely sustainable. And basically, mate, like I've got a dream, right? And my dream is to be in Forbes before I'm 30 years old.
Yeah.
So that's my ultimate target. I want to do that, and I want to help the world at the same time.
Yeah.
So, you know, I want to stay on brand. I want to do as much as I possibly can to give me the best chance to, one, be in Forbes by the time I'm 30, and to two, have things that can help people. I want to help people. So, like that right now, that's what I'm working on, and that's what Reprimo does. Reprimo, you know, helps people that can't sleep, help people that need more energy. If you've got a little bit of ADHD, which I know a lot of people do, I think I do. I'm not diagnosed myself, but I've never done it. But like,
I'm the same there.
A couple of focus capsules, mate, and you can dial into, like, if you need to focus on some work for like half an hour, whatever, take some focus capsules, you're dialed in, and like that's where Reprimo's going. So like, it's like I said, it's a work in progress, mate. We're working on it, but I'm happy that I've got the business partners I've got. Like I said, like they love motorsport. We all understand each other, and we all come up with different ideas too sometimes, which is it can be a good thing and a bad thing. Sometimes it'll spark up a little argument, but we always get over it in the end, and it's like, actually, this is a great idea, let's run with it. So I'm grateful to have the people in my corner, mate, that I've got.
Yeah, definitely. And I think I've got maybe one or two more questions. How about you, Lester? Have you got anything else you want to ask?
What time? Sorry to just rush.
Right.
What time is it?
It is 4:19, or very nearly 4.
Right, okay.
20 past 4.
And I need to go in 20 minutes.
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, we don't want to keep you too long, to be honest. But we'll just listen if you want to keep on talking for however long. So
yeah.
Hey, listen, don't threaten me with that, mate. I'll keep talking for hours.
Yeah. Oh dear. So I just kind of wanted to ask I mean, maybe this is coming from me as well, but for the advice for people a little bit younger than you, I'm not getting any younger. I'm 21. I still haven't raced in a full season yet.
Mate, you're young enough.
Yeah, well,
21.
I've know.
I don't feel it. I feel about 50.
Like, honestly.
Yeah. To be 21 again. But for me, obviously not racing yet. There's been quite a lot of things over the past couple of years. I've tested, only a couple of weeks ago I was in a C1 at Brighton. Last year I was in a G40 in a Ginetta. And every time I do struggle to get that sponsorship side, as I imagine a lot of people do. That's I think why I not why I started my podcast, but that's why I went, right, I can't buy my way into racing, so I'm going to have to try and do it cleverly. So for me, I'm personally asking this for me, you've obviously you've got obviously different heritage than just pure British, as do I. I'm half Greek. Would you say maybe trying to tap into that market as well to that, 100%. Or how do you go about that?
100%. So at the moment, El Salvador, but it's where my mum's from, right? El Salvador are really proud of me at the moment, and I'm actually touched. I'm really touched, and I've had a lot of support and help from El Salvador. And from what I've done, mate, I've not put El Salvador on the map because there's a lot more influential and more inspiring people than me in El Salvador. I can guarantee you that. I've met them firsthand, and it's a shame that some of them have had to go through like certain struggles that they've had to go through. But certainly tap into your heritage, because not every driver on the grid is half Greek. You know, not every driver on that grid has their own podcast, has two podcasts, one's radio, one's podcast. Yeah. So sell that, right? Go to you, just sell yourself, mate, because at the end of the day, they're buying into you, and they're buying into what you believe in. So, like, what I've done is, I went on a TV show and I've fast-tracked myself to be marketable. So, my life is slightly easier now when I'm trying to pitch to people because I've got numbers to prove. But beforehand, like, what I would do is I would pick the low-hanging fruit. So the earphones you've got on right now, did you buy that specifically? Is there like a podcast kit that you bought?
So I kind of bought my stuff individually. So I've got a Rode mic. So Rode are obviously a very good, mic brand. So that is obviously something that I could tap into there. I think these are... I think Audio-Technica, I think. I can't quite remember.
Mate, there you go. But, so the easiest thing is, you're a customer of that brand, right? It's much easier to go to a brand that you're already a customer of and say, look, I've been a customer of you guys, I love your product, so when I'm selling it, I'm not faking it because I actually genuinely buy your products anyway. Support me, I'll put the name in the car, I'll do social media. On this radio, you can have like a in-between podcasts, advertise your sponsors, you know what I mean? Like, a little 1 minute commercial during the radio or your podcast of like showcasing your sponsors. Like, these are things that it's so simple, but just think outside the box, because I've always thought outside the box, mate. And I'm
using all these ideas as well, by the way, Seb. Nicking all these.
Go for it, man. Go for it. Listen, like I said, this is free. This information's free. Right? By all means, use it. It's the reason I'm telling you guys to do it. But like, can you speak Greek?
Ligro. I can speak a little bit. I can say maybe good morning.
Start speaking Greek, mate. Start tapping into a Greek to your Greek fans, right? Because I've started speaking Spanish on my social media. Mate, my Spanish fans are some of the greatest fans. You know what I mean? Like, they engage with me. A lot of them are like, wow, like when you were on Tour Down, I didn't know you could speak Spanish. And I made that. I made it a thing to go and visit El Salvador, go and visit Peru, go and visit Costa Rica, because these are fans. So I was like, well, the least I can do is go and visit them, speak Spanish, mate, speak Greek, because then that's different again. You just got to be different to the next guy.
Yeah. If there's one thing I'm very good at, it's being unique. So I shall definitely be using
unique,
all that.
And don't apologise about being you. Don't apologise about being unique. The amount of times I've been myself, somebody's not liked it, I'm not fuck apologising for that. Like, that's me. If you don't want to hear it, you don't have to. I'm not, you know what I mean? I'm not trapping. Nobody's trapped with me. If you want to watch what I've got to say and hear what I've got to say, you don't like it, I don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
But thankfully, so far, it's all love, and everyone somehow loves the controversy. Some people love the shit that comes out of my mouth, and I went on Netflix and got naked, and you know what I mean. I've got 500,000 followers off the back of it. It's simple.
Oh, brilliant. Well, I tell you what, I wish you the best of luck this season. I really hope you manage to get that BTCCC or perhaps obviously a seat in America or something like that. I can't wait to see you. And I'll definitely come visit you at a track this year.
Please do. I'm sure this is not going to be the last time we speak. I'm sure it's not. But,
what about some one-off drives at the end of the season, maybe for a bit of fun? Maybe Walt Hayes, you done that before?
Maybe, man. We'll see.
You should go back to Formula Ford 1600 after you've done BTCC. Go, yes, let's go.
You know what I'd love to do? I'd love to go back. I'd love to go at the end of the season to El Salvador and race a car over there.
Yeah.
I'm not being funny when I say I love El Salvador. I love the people. I want to show them racing. You know what I mean? It's mad. I want to go back to El Salvador. I want to go to El Salvador and showcase something there. So whether it's a Formula Ford or a touring car or a GT, I want to take it there and showcase it.
Oh, that'd be so fun. I think in Greece is only, because obviously it's not the richest country, as you can imagine. So I think they've only got like one or two tracks.
If they could use the help with like tourism or whatever, go for it, man.
Exactly,
There's no better ambassador of Greece than you in the UK. You're Greek.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Thank you, man. I appreciate that. Thank you, man. I really appreciate that.
Listen, I hope I speak to you guys soon.
One little final question just before we let you go. I know time's tight, Seb. You mentioned this ongoing TV career that you've got now, and obviously I'm guessing you want to keep developing that. So what is in the pipeline for you?
I can't discuss that right now, mate. There's stuff in the pipeline. It's it's quite exciting, but it's not developed enough for me to be brave enough to say anything.
Okay.
So I don't have to look stupid. But I mean, just know there is stuff I'm working on, and I pray that it's not going to be the last time you see me on your screens.
No, hopefully no.
I loved it, mate. I loved the experience I had on TV. So yeah, it's not the last time I want to be on it. Let's put it that way.
Still with a growing fan base, Seb, in the enviable position of every race driver in that you say you've got maybe too much money and not enough drive options available.
Listen, there's never such a thing as too much, mate. Like, I'm still fighting so hard to try and get there. But listen, like I said, nothing's coming easy, and it still isn't easy. I'm having to work hard and find stuff that's not, your typical sales pitch, you know what I mean? I'm still trying to find different ways that I can make myself better. So, but listen, we're getting there, man.
Cool.
Yeah. Well, if anything does happen this year or anything like doesn't happen in BTC, you can join me in Citroen C1s. We'll do 24 hours of Silverstone.
Let's go for it, mate. Let's go for it.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah. Awesome
Thanks,
to
you
speak
guys.
to you,
Thank
Seb.
you both.
Yeah, no worries. Take care.